Now call to order council meeting for August 13th, 2019 for the city of Walton. If everyone will please rise for invocation and pledge. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for allowing us all to gather, for allowing us all to be joined here in the city of Walton. Lord, I ask that you bless these city leaders as they try to make the best decisions for the city of Walton. And Lord, continue to please bless our town. In your name I pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sharon, if I could please get a roll call.
Barb?
Here.
John? Bobby?
Here.
Rose?
Here.
Stephanie?
Here.
Matt?
Here.
Okay, a few quick announcements. September 3rd will be a caucus meeting at City Hall at 6:30. All are welcome to attend. September 7th will be Old Fashioned Day. We should have a list of events and things coming out here within the next water bill. For that should be a pretty good Old Fashioned Day. September 10th will be the next regular city council meeting. It'll be here at the Walton Senior Center at 7:30 p.m. And if I could I please?
Before we do that,
Go
I have a
ahead.
motion to remove the second reading of ordinance 2019-06 from tonight's agenda.
We can't hear what you're saying. I don't know if your mic's still on or not.
The motion was to remove the second reading of ordinance 2019-06, which would be repealing ordinance 2017-20, rescinding the requirement to install stop signs at Stevenson Mill and Central Avenue. So you all have just been brought here for a show. We just wanted the YouTube subscribers. That's it.
Was there a second?
Yeah, was there a second?
Yes.
Matt seconded. Okay.
My question is, will that be coming back up again, just be delayed, or?
What does that mean? You're going to leave the signs in? Is that what this means? You're not reading it, so does that mean the signs stay?
That's what it means for now if this motion passes.
Okay, but then you can sneak it in again later and us not be here, is that? What's the point? Yeah, what's the point of not reading it?
What's the point of taking the sign down to start with?
All good questions, but I have a motion on the table. If I could please get a vote.
Barb?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Rose?
No. We need to discuss it.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? That was included, the ordinance was originally included Edwards as well. You're removing it for just, you're separating the ordinance now.
Margie?
They're already separated.
They were already separated. I believe, as it currently stands, the second reading for the removal of the stop signs on Edwards are still in place.
But it was an ordinance, at the last meeting. Those, it was not a separate ordinance.
Yes, Margie, they were, Mr. They're both listed as such.
No, you already amended. Now you approve it as amended.
Okay, can I get it?
So that motion passed. Now it would be appropriate for a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Okay, can I get it?
Second.
Barb?
Yes.
Now
Bobby?
you're
Yes.
approving the agenda without that item.
Rose?
No.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Okay. May I get an approval of the previous minutes for July 9th, regular called council meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Barb?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Rose?
No.
What was your answer?
No.
No. Stephanie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Go on, actually, before we do citizens' comments, I will go on, get a report from the people here, from the Sheriff's Department, Major Bill Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, good to be with you all again tonight. You have before you the summary of Sheriff's Department activity for the city of Walton for July 2019. For that month, there was a total of 1,025 law enforcement events. Some of those consist of 4 911 hang-ups, 28 alarm drops, 10 attempts to locate, 9 animal complaints, 26 auto accidents, 4 with injuries, 1 burglary report, 30 business checks, 30 criminal or civil services, 8 reports of criminal mischief, 20 domestic disputes, 13 drug complaints for intoxicated persons, 9 emotional crises, 6 juvenile troubles, 17 motorist assists, 1 reported overdose, 18 requests for information, 416 spot checks, 25 suspicious activity reports, 9 thefts, 11 traffic complaints. We stopped 112 cars, 18 vehicle complaints. We unlocked 15 vehicles, checked out 9 wanted persons. And you see we got the arrests and citations back for you. We actually had to get records to write you new access for a new query for access. So we issued 72 state citations and arrested 17 people. Then in addition to that, I see Mr. Wainwright isn't here tonight, but we worked to address the parking issue on High Street, and there's been numerous parking citations issued on High as well.
I hear all that. Yes, sir.
Any questions on that, or any other questions I can answer for you?
I don't have the council.
Yeah, we're motorist assist. Motorist. No, 0
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Major Mark.
Thank you.
All right, Chief Vest could not be with us tonight, but it's my understanding we have Rob Ollier from the Fire Department.
Thanks, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Share that one.
Yeah, we can do that.
Didn't make enough copies.
Sorry.
Just give it to me when you're done,
Okay.
because I scan them.
Good
Yeah, we're
afternoon.
sharing.
For the month of July, the fire department responded to 186 responses, dispatches. 120 of those were EMS responses and 66 were fire-oriented type responses. Of those, we responded to 9 overdoses, 15 motor vehicle accidents, and we utilized the air medical, UC Air Care, 3 times. Of any significance, semi-fire fire in Richwood earlier in the month in front of the T8 truck stop. This semi was hauling a tanker with 45,000 pounds of butyl acrylate. Butyl acrylate is used in paints, sealants, and things like that. It is highly reactive and explosive when exposed to heat. Luckily, we got there pretty quick and was able to put the fire out. It was contained to the cab of the vehicle, so the tanker was never compromised. So that is good news for us and everybody else. And most recently, last week, we responded, I know it's not in July, but we responded to a dumpster fire at the middle school. It was contained to a large construction dumpster. Didn't have very much in it, and at any no time were any of the students ever in harm's way. Any questions for me?
Any idea as to the cause of the dumpster fire?
No. The only thing was in it was about a quarter full. It was just construction debris from their construction project going over there. Really no way to determine the cause of the fire. We did talk to the school resource officer, have him look at the camera, make sure there was no suspicious persons around that dumpster at that time. We have not heard back from the resource officer, so I'm assuming he checked and didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. Council, any questions?
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. From Cardinal Engineering, Matt Bogan.
Thank you, Mayor. So I thought I was going to have to come in here tonight and kick the can down the road for another month on the pedestrian bridge, but around lunchtime I got an email back from Norfolk Southern and they said that after meeting internally, discussing it, and inspecting the site in person, they are willing to back off on the requirement to replace the abutments. So they said, don't have to touch it. So it's a big load off my shoulders and keeps the project within the scope, more or less within the scope we originally talked about. So thank you to EW Chambers for sticking up with us and running that up the chain of command. I probably want a nice bottle of bourbon or something. So anyway, all we have to do now is to send them a final signed and stamped copy of plans so they can issue the approval for their permit. And then we can move forward with the grant process with the state. So the next step on that would be easement acquisition. So I've already reached out to Dunlop and Associates. We had talked to them a year ago before the whole abutment issue came up, and they said they're still ready and willing to take on the project. So yeah, I'll get with them in the next few days and get that moving. Road projects, Wriggler's still on track to get started this week on the change order work. So that's Catalina, Plum, and a small section of Bedinger. And then just following up on a couple of restoration matters from the first part of the work. Also, Mayor Brown received a complaint about a pavement issue on Peach Street. There's a culvert that's blocked, and just the pavement grade is kind of there's a bit of a dip, and then it goes uphill, and the pavement's breaking down. So I'll just get a proposal together for some improvements there. It should be a small project. I don't think we would even be large enough that we would need to bid it out. So I can see if Wriggler can take care of that while they're in town, or reach out to the contractors if we need to. Following up on the road safety improvements that we met with the state on last month, District 6 is just waiting for school to get in session. Well, in session now, as of today. So now that school is back in, they'll get pedestrian counts on Main Street, the crosswalks we have. And based on the findings of that, they'll forward that along to central office in Frankfurt, along with our request for the LED crosswalk signs. And Frankfurt will make the final approval or denial whether we can do that or not. Also, within the last couple of weeks, our survey crew's been in town, just out here doing the topo survey for where the splash park is proposed. They just got that to me this week, so I'm going to get started on doing just a conceptual design on improvements for the site, just the grading, utility tie-ins, parking, that kind of stuff, so we can have a rough idea of how much that'll cost, and then start reaching out to vendors about the different features for the site. And then finally, just a quick update on the MS4 program, because we haven't talked about that in a few months. Myself and one of our office techs put together a database of all of the outfalls in the city. Those are the major ones that qualify for the MS4 program. So we've got the location of them, the size, the material, the photo, and so on. So that counts towards the requirements the Division of Water has for our annual compliance. Plus, that gives us something to use for myself and the Public Works when we go out and start doing annual inspections on all these pipes. We'll just have everything in one place to keep a record of the condition of the pipes and any maintenance that might come up that we have to do with them. So, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, can you address Coleman Run?
Yeah, I did run out there and look at it. I noticed what you were talking about. I think there's some individual panels concrete panels that have failed and could use some attention. Otherwise, I think the main thing is just grinding some of the joints where there's a little bit of unevenness to them.
It's been that way for 15 years, up the joints, but the pavement is coming apart at those joints. And at the one intersection that I showed you is the worst.
Yeah.
There's rocks being thrown up all over the place. And also down the road on Panzaretta. And that's basically because of the construction of the equipment. And so I haven't heard anything, but that has to be done because by the winter time, we're going to have big holes.
I did know, the intersection, like you mentioned, is the worst spot as far as the panels in the joints that are breaking down. If we feel that there's, I can't remember off the top of my head how many lots are back there that still are ready for development. If there's a lot of construction that is still, we're still waiting on, it's all done, okay. Then it's good, the time is ending to start looking at improvements. If there's a lot of construction that we're still waiting on, I'd say, let's try and do some spot repairs and see how it holds up, but so it doesn't get totally damaged by the construction traffic that have to get together an improvement estimate out there.
I'll be watching.
Thank you, Matt. Great work.
Thank you, Matt. And just to expand on that with the road safety improvements, the request to District 6 was, some of you may notice up by the school, we put in solar panel blinker stoplights. Plan is to go ahead and put some more of those in at School Road and up by St. Joseph Academy, Beatrice Avenue, along with doing some Abbey Road crosswalks. But I put in a separate request with the state because, as much as we like the other ones, the idea of the other ones, it's the most difficult to cross here on 25. The state doesn't necessarily like them, but like Matt said, they are going to do a pedestrian study along with their traffic count. So please encourage everybody and their brother's mother to come walk US 25 and cross wherever you see a crosswalk. With that being said, I'll move on. We have Brent Caldwell, Code Enforcement Officer. Brent? Oh, you're on blue right here.
Everybody got the handout? Everybody got feet on what's going on? There's 12 open properties. We're built and working toward a resolution. A couple properties have just came up within this past week down on Old Nicholson. It's we'll get to a resolution there. It's going to take some time, but we will get to that. Or do you have concern? What's the matter?
Nope, good.
Okay. And the rest of those items, you are familiar with those, and hopefully we can get to a resolution.
Well, you got 44 down, so we appreciate it. High Street.
Oh, 40 feet
It's
of
gone,
gas.
so good job on that.
That was put in a dumpster, and we're moving forward. Anything else, folks? Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay.
My name's Ron Tomlinson. I live on Firstwell Road. On July the 14th, 11 a.m., I went into the city building and asked them if they could fix the pothole up there on Firstwell Road, right-hand side. It's been a month tomorrow, and it still hasn't been addressed yet.
Where's it at?
It's up on Firstwell Road. I'll give you pictures of it.
Okay.
Every time I go in the office there, about some issue on Firstwell Road, I get the same thing, call Boone County. It's not Boone County, it's the city of Walton. When Carl was mayor, it was annexed into the city of Walton up to the Kent County line. It's like taking an act of Congress to get something done on it, road. This is a picture of the pothole. You would drop your false teeth if you hit it. It's getting worse and worse, now the whole road is washing out. This is the middle of the road, and it's starting to get bad.
Is this by the lake, Turner's Lake, or?
It's you know the first house when you go up Percival Road?
Yeah.
Very first house on the right, it's right there.
By the Mark Way?
And when there's a car coming down the street and you're going up, there's no way to missing that hole.
How deep is it? How deep is it?
It's deep enough to run a tire.
Oh, really?
I've hit it twice now with my truck. One of the other things on Percival Road I asked about several years ago was the vegetation that's up there. You can't, here's the sign that's covered up, there's the stop sign.
You got an address on this, sir?
It's,
I know where it's at.
and there's been other citizens that's asked the same thing. I don't know why they don't want to do something up there on the road. Here's the vegetation problem. Sorry about it, Don.
It's all right.
We would have a right-of-way easement.
Now, years ago, they had a tractor come in with a big arm that's got like a bush hog on it, and it would cut down trees that side. One year they did it, and that's when Boone County had it. I asked about that, they said, well, you have to call Boone County. Boone County said, we don't take care of that road anymore. It's city of Walton. Why can't they hire somebody? They hired some guy come along with a tractor to mow it. He can't mow because of all the trees on the bottom, on the road that fell when there was a storm 3 or 4 years ago. There's still land up there, you can't hardly mow it.
Other people want to knock on it.
Knock them all. Now, one of the other things,
Sir, I'll tell you what, I will be with, give me your phone number, and I will be with Roger Williams. I'm off all day on Fridays. We'll go look at it, and I'll get something done. This is,
but one of those, that stop sign on Percival is ready to fall over.
we'll get that.
And then
I do know what, I have seen that.
This is the gutter right there on Church Street. It's been clogged up for, water can't even flow down it anymore. Here's some more.
Well, you've been a busy man.
I've got, you know,
It's got a fortune in pictures.
now in your own backyard from the city building, you got all these trees that have been cut down and nobody's cleaned them up. It just lays there. It's a disgrace for being right by the city building. I'm done.
Sir?
Anyway.
I believe that is, that's either,
Railroad.
that's either railroad easement or,
It's by the cemetery, so yeah.
well,
Your
I
phone
know the
number?
cemetery hasn't gone to put anything down.
380-7900.
And I'm sorry, I missed your name.
Ron Tomlinson,
Thank you.
Tomlinson.
Okay, thank you.
Hang on a second, Ron. Don't call me all hours of the night. but
Okay.
You give me a call, I'll be in touch with you,
All right,
okay?
thanks, Gary.
You want your pictures back?
No, I think those are meant for us.
You can have them.
Try to make you take.
He got doubles.
Ron, thank you very much. All right. I'll open it up to any other citizen comments. We may.
Can you speak on anything that got talked out?
I reckon you could speak on anything you would like to speak on.
I'd like to speak on that. I've been a citizen of Walton for, oh, you can hear me. I've been a citizen of Walton since, 67 years now. I've driven up and down Central and High School Court since I was 16 years old. That has always been a dangerous spot to come out of onto Stevenson Mill, either coming up Central to turn left onto Stevenson Mill, or being on Stevenson Mill to turn left into Central. If you're short, and I am, I don't drive a big old, truck where I can sit up and see. I don't drive a bus where I can sit up and see. And most of the citizens don't, I don't think. So there is a blind spot. It is a safety issue. I mean, I had to come out of there before they put those stop signs in and just narrowly got missed by somebody coming barreling up around there. It's just a safety issue. I mean, the signs are there. I think it was great that they got put there. When I saw them, I'm like, oh my gosh, this has been needed for so long. And now, y'all want to take them down. I don't get it. They're there, people are used to them now. What's the point? I don't get it. I think for 3 to 5 seconds of somebody's life to spend just stopping there to keep from hitting somebody. I don't see why you have to wait for an accident to happen to say, oh yeah, we need the stop signs.
Thank you.
Can I speak?
Thank you, Ms. McMillan.
Well, I moved on high school court in 1961. At that time, there wasn't a whole lot of traffic in the city of Walton. As time has went on and things have built and more additions have been made, when you go out Central Avenue, you look to see if there's anything coming. You look this way to see if there's anything coming. By the time you look back, you could pull out and be too late. It's only about 150 at clearance window that you can see to pull out on the road to make a left turn. And when people are driving 55 miles an hour usually, which is 20 miles over the speed limit, correct? And they can't see. I mean, it's not, I don't think they get 2 or 3 times. So I don't understand. I can understand they're talking about going to leave this one on Central Avenue. Well, that's only a given because you got to stop there anyway. If you unless you want to get there out there and take your chances. Thank you.
And all 3 of us short people, okay? And it is. Yep, there she is. There's another one. There's 4 of us here, and we do have problems. So please take that into consideration.
Thank you.
We're still on Stevensville.
Okay. I have lived by the intersection of Central Avenue for 58 years of my life. And I think that's the greatest thing we ever did was put the stop signs up and have them left there before there is a bad accident. It's a precautionary thing, and all this discussion, it's like up and down, it just costs money and more meetings, and I think they should be left up there.
Thank you.
I am not short. However, when I go up that way, they're right. You're taking it's a few seconds. I know I reached out to several council members to get your views on this. And I know there's been talk, well, you can't do it because of speeding and this and that. It's a safety issue. Anybody, if you're in a car, if you're in a big truck, granted, yes, you can see fairly well. If you're in a car, people fly down that road. And, I mean, it helps. I mean, it's a safety issue. I'm not so much worried about the speed, guys, it's a safety issue.
Speak for them in the fact that you're gonna, Ray Wright had mentioned about, there's not enough traffic and there's not a few on there. Well, you're gonna have construction on down 25. They're gonna have to direct, it's gonna be more people coming down 25 to get on back onto 75. People coming that lives on Central and School Court Road, they're not gonna be able to get out on 25 that runs through the city. They're gonna have to go out Central. So that is it's gonna be a safety issue, it's gonna be a traffic flow issue as well, because of the, traffic issues are going to be.
Thank you, Marty.
Stop signs to say.
Anyone else have anything to comment?
Brett? I know you had more
Do I have
a line
any,
of
something
that.
positive?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
There we go.
All right. Well, hey, I'll throw it up. So I just kind of came tonight to actually say thank you to the city of Walton. Some of you guys may know, some of you may not. I came last month and asked if we could, if the Eosta Valley HOA could extend the playground that the city put in. Obviously, we're a growing neighborhood, and as we grow, more kids, and we needed a little bit more space. Worked with the city hand in hand to get that taken care of, and I want to say thank you for allowing us to do that. Everything should be finished up by the end of next week, so we're super happy about that and get that in for all the kids to enjoy for the time to come. So I just want to say thanks to everybody for letting us do that, and you will see. Should hopefully by next Friday, not this coming Friday, but a week from Friday, you can come out and check out the new additions, and I think they'll be good and great for the community. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Brent. And I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to thank Matt Brown. Thanks for coming and sitting down with me to finalize everything and talk about it. And Matt, I know you put in some work with Brent to make sure it was in the best interest of the city and how we had been doing our other pocket parks. So thank you both. Look forward to seeing what it looks like. Dr. Cedar,
Are we done talking about the?
we could talk about whatever you'd like to. This is a citizens' comments moment.
I don't live on Edwards Avenue, but I've been at meetings when the problem at Edwards Avenue was brought up. So that has to do with the other ordinance change.
Sure.
And people were complaining then about the safety of and King Boone Lake traffic zooming through Edwards and being a very much of a safety incident. This happened for years of discussion. Solutions brought up were anywhere from speed bumps to God knows what. And they came up with curve signs. Nobody stops for a curve sign. In fact, in this area, no one stops for a stop sign. I've lived here long enough. I call it an Ohio stop. You slow down from 40 to 35 miles an hour and keep right on going. So if the stop signs are still there and people use it for an Ohio stop, at least they'll slow down and won't be running over people going around Edwards Avenue. So that's my feeling on that one. I think if it's in place right now, why remove it? Who's it going to benefit by removing it? Is it going to be Boone Lake people? They're not even part of Walton. So it's like, look what for the people at Edwards Avenue. These are the people that wanted to have something done at that place anyway. So I'm in favor of not removing the stop sign.
I live on Edwards. I live on Edwards. And I agree with you, I even got visuals. Video, but no one else can see it. It is a safety issue because when you're out there, you are not able to see around the bend. I will agree that the stop sign, that when you stop at this stop sign, when they place the other stop sign completely over to the left-hand side, which made it a joke. It defeated the purpose of the stop signs, period. It puts this person coming on, stopping in the curb. Why? If they are to be removed, I would remove this one and move it up before the curb, so there is no accident. The school bus, if this car stops at this sign, the school bus can't get around there. If the school bus comes stop at the sign, this car can't get around there, somebody's gonna back up the way they got it now. I would suggest that the one on the west side of the street should go on around up here. There is a mailbox, a bush, and I feel the stop signs go right in there. Now, I got a video of it. Now, when I was driving up here, I took time to do all that, as you can see.
All right. If we have no further citizen comments, we'll move on. First item of business is an executive order for the 2019-01 Boone County Emergency Operations Plan that I have signed. I did not write it. It was sent to me by the county. Basically, it's for the emergency operations plan as officially approved and adopted as the date of this executive order. If anyone is interested in either A, reading it, you may have my copy, or you can find it on the Boone County website. Counselor, is that sufficient? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Moving on from that, we will have we have a second reading of ordinance 2019-05, the City of Walton, amending ordinance 2013-17 by repealing the stop sign language in section 2 therein, thereby requiring the elimination and removal of the stop signs in both directions on Edwards Avenue at 231 Edwards, and to add language to replace the stop signs with slow curve signs or appropriate equivalents.
Motion.
Second.
Barb?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Rose?
No.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Okay. Next will be the second reading of ordinance 2019-07 of the City of Walton, amending section 150.35 of the Walton Code of Ordinances by designating the Walton Fire Protection District as the authority having jurisdiction to enforce the standards of safety and the other provisions contained in that section, and to operate a fire inspection program pursuant to KRS 227.320. Further, to require certain additional life and fire safety precautions, improvements, and actions by owners and operators of structures and businesses in the city.
Motion.
Second.
Barb?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
We will move on to council comments. Barb?
The only comments I have is I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I know it's a big issue about these stop signs. I've talked to a lot of people personally about the one at Central and the one on Edwards. The input I got about that one on Edwards was just comical a lot of times, but the other one was very convincing, honestly. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out.
Okay.
No.
John's gone. Bobby?
Nothing.
Rose?
Oh, yes. But you won't want to hear what all I've got to say. Thank you, everybody, in support of keeping the sign up at Central. All I got to say is if one person gets injured or a child gets injured at that intersection, it's going to be hard for anybody that's attending this meeting or has any comments about that stop sign. How are you going to feel about it? That's all I've got to say about that issue. It is strictly a safety issue. The traffic flying down Old Stevenson, I don't think there's ever going to be anything we can completely do about that. However, with school there, and you see those children walking down that street going to school, it doesn't take but just a second for that car to maybe look at something else and come over there and hit one of those children. I talked to the lady today that her child got killed by Kroger's. Yeah, and it's a heartbreaking situation. And all I can say is if you've got your children in the back seat of your car and you turn up that road and somebody T-bones you, you're going to have to live with that the rest of your life if you live there. So I want everybody to think twice about voting against keeping that. We need to keep those. I've lived there for 37 years and I've seen so many times when people have just barely missed a car, and myself included. So, and I thank everybody that came in support of that. I appreciate it. You took your personal time to do that. Thank you again.
Stephanie?
Nothing.
Matt?
Thanks everybody for coming out. We definitely heard you and seen the comments. Hopefully it resolves the issue. So, thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Barb, go for it.
I want to thank, I guess, Matt, are you the one that got the crosswalks painted on over there by St. Joseph?
No, I mean, I was Roger.
Oh, well, they got painted. The rest isn't done, but at least the crosswalks are there. Yeah, school started today, so.
Actually, for once, I won't say anything. So,
If you're going to take the signs down, what are you going to do with the visual? Can you cut those weeds down? Or take
Margie, I can promise you one thing. I'll be off Friday. I'm going to go look at it. That was my only thought when when it first came up, was what's going to happen. I already know, Margie. I grew up right down the street from there. I'm well aware of that road. I've been kicked out of Boone Lake more times than you could possibly imagine for sneaking in with a fishing pole. I'm going to look at some options there. I don't know. My only reserve about the deal, I would have agreed that the stop signs were exactly the point of council, that they weren't up to MUTC standard. But hang on. But I remember when those got voted in 2013, it was complaint after complaint after complaint. And I believe we had a council meeting about half as packed as this from people from Edwards asking for something to be done. So I don't know that slow curve signs are going to be the exact trick. So going to snowball a few ideas together. I'll bring it to council and we'll see what we can come up with.
get some snowball ideas, inviting some citizens to be in on the snowball idea?
You have everyone here's email, Margie. Feel free to call them all. Text them, email them, whatever you got to do. Other than that, I'm going to go look at it. I'll see what we can do. There's a legitimate option for that road. There's got to be something. If not, first couple of complaints I get, I'm just going to forward them on because I didn't take the stop signs down. I think a rumble strip or a cattle grade. I know the fire department does not like speed plateaus or speed humps, and that was the initial thing suggested. It's been suggested on a lot of roads, frankly. The biggest thing with that, they have made them better to where they don't, they still slow down emergency management, but one of the biggest arguments was always it affects snow plowing so much. And it just burns up wear and tear on people's vehicles, things of that nature. They are effective. The biggest downside to them is, to the new ones, the two biggest downsides is, according to our wonderful engineer here, they're about $10,000 a piece to install. Second would be the slower response times for emergency management. You know, as most of y'all know, in some situations, life or death, every second matters when it comes to first responders getting to you. Rumble strips and cattle grades, though, might be a different story. So we shall see. If I could I please get a motion for adjournment?
Second.
Barb,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yep.
Rose,
Yes.
Stephanie,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming out.